Hello, hello, welcome. This is Young Reech Capital. We are looking at Bitcoin on the 1 minute, 5 minute time frame. Today is Monday, the 26th of May, 2025. What we are seeing right now is some lovely bullish price action on the Bitcoin chart. We are at $109,600 per Bitcoin, which is quite the crazy price, no doubt. Today is gonna be a relatively chill and short live stream. I'm just gonna go over last week's altcoin breakdowns today, along with a quick recap of what BTC has been doing the past couple of days, and also potentially look for some trade setup ideas, and let's just go from there. So, what are we looking at on Bitcoin? Lovely to see. Bitcoin has been super bullish the past couple of weeks. Actually, this entire month of May, Bitcoin has been absolutely bullish and making some lovely price moves to the upside. Right. So, anyway, let's dive right in. Take a look at what Bitcoin is doing right away. So, this is our all time high right here, the 112,000 marker. Lovely, beautiful move all the way from the previous all-time high of $109,000. This was the move to the all-time high, and also does it pretty much looks like we are very close to the all-time high. We have essentially retraced a bit since then. As soon as we broke down and we broke this structure right here, and we created some sort of momentum to the downside. And this was our trade on Friday, which I took live. Quick 2 hour trade. Lovely 1:2 trade right here, taken live on the stream on Friday. Since then, our weekend was relatively slow, pretty much. Nothing too great on the weekend price action for BTC, except for a continuation of this move, essentially. It's minor retracement, and we came back down. And of course, last night, this morning, we had this breakout of this trend line and having this minor bullish reaction right here of about 2%. It's around 2,400 points right here. Pretty clean price action overall on BTC. No doubt that there's also a really good volume coming in as well. Take a look at these beautiful volume moves. So there's, I think, been about $2 billion worth of inflows, ETFs, Bitcoin ETFs in the past week, and about $300 million. That's $2 billion into Bitcoin, and about $3 billion, 3 million, 300 million, excuse me, $300 million into Ethereum past week or so. You can take a look at these volume spikes, massive volume spikes right here. But as you can see that the volume has started to reduce out here, and if we take a look at this, that's about $600 million worth of Ethereum. BTC, it was max volume was out here, which was about similar 600 million, and then we had this about similar about 600 million. So overall, in total, in this entire week, there's been about 2 billion if you take the cumulative volume of this entire move. Pretty cool. Lovely stuff to see. So much of interest right now. Bitcoin chart and Bitcoin asset in general. So, why do I have this price marked out here? Basically, because this is a very important order block, and pretty much expecting the price to come into this zone for a good double bottom formation, pretty much. Somewhere, been hoping for it to break this, and we did get this breakout. So, what I'm pretty much looking forward to the price doing is something like this, hoping to get a rejection out here in this region. This is where I'm looking forward to Bitcoin taking a good rejection right here in this zone. And of course, if we start trading above these values, then I'll switch my bias to a bullish bias, excuse me. Right now, I'm pretty much neutral just to um, to give the benefit of doubt to the Bitcoin asset. Right now, it's super bullish, and also there's a lot of volume. So usually, when there's a lot of volume, the price can tend to fluctuate in either direction, and these swings of where the price fluctuates is actually quite massive, because if you take a look, that's about a 4,600 point move, right? And that's no joke, quite a pretty big move just in a span of 2 days to have 4,500 points. Pretty cool, absolutely. So at the moment, I'm just staying neutral and trying to keep off of being unnecessarily uh, over biased and purposefully or intentionally pushing towards a certain direction. I'm just going to wait for the price to give me confirmation. For example, this was a good confirmation. We broke through these multiple downtrend taps, and on the third, fourth tap, we had this move up. Hoping to get a retracement, right? That would be really good. We can get some sort of retracement back into this trend line. I'd be looking to take a position for a long, because it would essentially coincide with uh this golden pocket, right? Fibonacci zone. Be really interested in taking a buy out here. The price is slightly overextended right now for me to take a buy. And also, if you take a look at the RSI, it's kind of hanging somewhere in the overbought region. We're not completely overbought, of course. We still have some room to go up, but these moments where when it's just floating in between kind of gives me a imbalanced situation. So I'd rather wait for the price to show me more conviction to either side of the market, right? And then we'll see. And then we play it based on whichever side the market is more inclined to push the price towards. At the moment, it's just essentially been trading sideways. This whole Asia and London session has been pretty much just sideways altogether. Ever since the daily close, no? It was at around 5:30. We've been trading sideways, and when the market trades sideways like this, it's honestly not enjoyable, because it's really nothing to trade out here. It's just a total waste of time trading inside such a range. If you notice, I've drawn out two horizontal lines, which is essentially the low of this previous structure break, which has now become the high of this structure. Then the high of this structure is now acting as the low of this range. So this is a very minor range, consolidation range, you can call it, right? So essentially waiting for the price to break out above this range or break down below this range, either or. So this is just essentially simple two scenarios in this. It's a very binary situation. It's a yes or no thing. Either we break through from here and then we go long, or we break down and we go short. So also, there's another third possibility, which is something known as an inducement, or a swing failure pattern, where the price will tend to kind of go above, or maybe a massive candle up, and then we dump all the way back down, and then take everybody's stop loss out here, whoever when whoever wanted to go long, right, will essentially have taken their stops out here. So the market will end up taking the stop out here. That's another possibility. We retest here and then we come back. Hopefully into the 102 region. That would be a great move. Be very interested in holding out a position in this zone. As I said, the price has been uh, playing a lot of unnecessary range games today. It hasn't been a eventful trading day, to be honest. It's just been ranging and taking the retailers for a roller coaster ride, a backwards roller coaster ride. You know, I don't think anybody would enjoy a backwards roller coaster ride, to be honest. Yeah, so that's what's been happening. If you notice, this price action isn't too eventful, it's just unnecessary. We looks like we are getting some sort of a breakout right now. Price momentum to the upside is starting to form. We are getting a good momentum, no doubt. I'm gonna have to wait for some more confirmation before I see if there are any trade opportunities available. Just gonna have to have some patience out here. Okay, well, it does. Yes, it does look like we are breaking through this minor trend line on the 1 minute. If I pull up the 1 minute chart, okay, let me stay on the 5 minute. Just zoom in. Right. So this would be the trend that we are now essentially breaking through. But we are getting rejected, as I said, at this low. Previous week's consolidation range low. This was the low, right? Essentially, this is now what is known as a breaker block. You would This would be a rejection zone. So, hoping that the market is now trying to induce the participants to go long here and then we come back down, because I have been sensing a bit of bearish pressure in the price action. So, but at the same time, if you take a look, there is a good volume burst on this candle, major volume burst happening right now on this candle. So, also something to note, to be a bit aware of. Be really honest, today's whole day of trading has just been this nonsensical, sideways, choppy momentum. It's usually the case with Mondays. Mondays has always been a choppy range based situation. No, as I said, I'm not completely bearish nor am I bullish. I'm essentially neutral at this moment because we have a lot of reason to be both bearish and bullish, right? So just take a look at this dump, and then that's also because of the tariff announcement. Regardless of the dump, we have this white line here, which is the essentially a supply zone. This entire region is going to be a supply zone. So that's why I'm still pretty much leaning towards, at the moment, leaning towards a bearish side. As soon as we start getting some sort of candle closes above this, as I'm showing you, then yeah, there's a potential for the price to rally further. At the moment, as you can see very clearly, price is getting rejected at this previous range low, turned now into a range high. If you notice, we haven't closed the candle above that line. It's a very important thing to note. Oh, funny. Entire world being controlled by one orange man, orange old man. Now I'm just going to stay neutral, as I said. I'm just going to wait it out and see what happens, because there's plenty of reasons for some sort of a bullish momentum because of this volume. This candle had about $224 million worth of Bitcoin has been bought in this candle. So, yeah, I'm just going to wait for some more candles to work itself out in this zone. Meantime, I'm just going to quickly go through my previous altcoin breakdowns. I wanted to do pull up the 30-minute chart. All right, this is peanut on the 30-minute time frame. Yeah, the next target is apparently 150K, and then, like, I'm talking about a much larger target perspective. But I actually showed this on I put it out on, this is my complete chart breakdown for BTC. If you want, you can just pause the video and note these down as well. So these are my key levels for BTC. This is to the bullish side. This is going to be my zone, target zones, which is going to be 118,000 and 127,000 are going to be my targets for BTC. I think I have put it across on the 4-hour time frame. That's why the price targets are there. We go. These are my price targets for BTC on the higher time frame. Quite simple, actually, nothing complicated. I just These are very, very small, like, simple target numbers. About 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm expecting this 127K to be hit soon. So overall, I'm still pretty bullish. And also, if you take a look at this crazy trend line that it's been forming for almost a month, extremely bullish. Excuse me. Also, Mr. Akilande, we are probably going to hop onto a call and figure out the tickets today or tomorrow. So please do be available when you receive the call. All right. Interesting. Oh, crazy. Pretty crazy momentum on Bitcoin. All right, man. You let me know. We'll just hop onto the conference call and then we'll figure it out. See, you can probably just bring a whole bag of Jira or something like that. Oh, what's going on? Damn, crazy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's what I'm talking about. Pretty cool. XRP. I have put together a very nice breakdown, a chart analysis for XRP, and a trade idea as well for XRP. There we go. That's what I did last week on Friday. And this is what it's all about for XRP. I'm going to be a buyer at these prices, not right now. These are going to be some key levels that it has to go through. XRP, nothing too great. But you actually got to look at TAO, Tau. Look at this lovely moves on Tau. Yeah, kind of. BTC is breaking out for sure. Almost, sort of, because as I said, we gotta have to have a candle close above this line that I've drawn here. This line is a very important line for the price to break through. As you can see, that we are not getting any candles that are closing above this. So until and unless we get a full candle body that closes above it, that's the only time that I start becoming bullish. Until then, I'm just going to wait for the price. Look at that. It's exactly what I'm talking about. There's no reason to be bullish here unless we get a full body candle close above this. That's the only way for the price to then move up. Look at this. We have yet to close above this price. To me, what this looks like is a simple inducement situation, inducing the market participants to go long when the price actually wants to come back down. As I said, that's exactly what's happening. Anyway, let's not get too ahead of the price. Let's just wait and see what happens. This could also be a retest of this trend line as well. So that's another possibility. We do have a fair value gap right here. We draw it out a much cleaner using the trend line tool like so. All right, so potentially I have a trade idea looking forward to, which is not long. This is going to be a short trade idea, right? This is what I'm actually looking at right here. It's going to be a 4 hour trade. So basically, what I'm looking at the price is essentially I'm hoping that we convert this fair value. What I'm going to do is draw out a rectangle out here so that it's more clear. There we go. Yes, I'm waiting for this price and the candle to fully close below the fair value. As soon as we get a close below the fair value, we start trading below this block. As you can see, let me mark it out and let me name it. Beautiful. I'm waiting for this FVG to turn into an inverted fair value, and that's when I go short. And this is where I'm going to be going short right here. Just going to wait for confirmation of the price. And I'm most probably going to take a much bigger position sizing on this trade because this is going to be a really strong rejection if we close below the we got to close below this. We need a candle close below this right here. We need something like this, a retest, and then boom. That's what I'm expecting on Bitcoin to do. Just wait and see what happens. Essentially what I'm looking forward to. Hopefully this exact scenario plays out. All right. So what I was saying is we do need to have confirmation below this. As you can see, I have marked out this fair value. It's what's known as an FVG. This zone, the squiggly line that I'm drawing right here, this is what I'm expecting. I am basically expecting something like this to work out. As soon as we have something like this, I will be a buyer to the short side, to the downside. But we are essentially taking support inside this fair value. So as soon as we close a candle below this, that's the first indication that the price does want to move towards the downside rather. Get rid of this rather than the upside. So as you can see, we are now starting to get rejected within the. There we go. Beautiful. Just waiting and waiting. Put that out here. Waiting. Oh, I forgot to set up my chart today. All right. Beautiful. So, also gonna put on waiting for price to. So I'm gonna make it simple, either or. So what I'm looking at is at the moment slightly bearish only, no doubt, but anything is possible. So what I've written out here is waiting for price to take support or form an inverse fair value to enter into the position. Take support at the FVG or form an inverse fair value, which is essentially happening right now. If you can see, I shouldn't have taken that out. I'm just gonna set it up. Most likely, I'm as I said, I am bearish right now because that's what the price is has been showing me this whole day, right? It has been showing me that it wants to be bearish, but there are a lot of reasons. There's some unnecessary manipulating activities playing out. But it's not really. I wouldn't call it manipulation. It's just certain inducement techniques that the market plays on the participants to uh, generate liquidity. Anyway, so this is what I'm expecting the price to do is it needs to confirm a breakdown from here, a retest of this, then we can target this low, absolutely. Or we can also target this low, which is this order block right here. Multiple possibilities available. We are gonna have to wait, gonna have to patiently let the price do its thing. That's why I had taken this out. Let's wait for a confirmation first and then let's take a trade. That's how I'd like to do it. Also, if you see, we are getting rejected within the fair value. These are all signals and certain reactions that the price does when it has a bearish tendency. Also, if you take a look at this candle. This is a massive bearish candle. I am pushing towards the bearish momentum right now, as I said, because first and foremost, I'm not doing these things blindly. I'm doing it out of simple step by step approach. First, confirmation. Number one is we have this low and we have this horizontal resistance, which we have not closed above, right? So that is our confirmation number one, is we need a candle to close above this zone, this white line, this resistance right here, for us to be able to go long. Secondly, we are right here. If I draw the Fibonacci level, let's say from this, or from the main high of the range, we are inside of a Fibonacci golden pocket. So these are all, this is my second reason to be bearish. I'm also going to explain my invalidations, right? Without a doubt. As soon as the price goes away from my levels, so this is going to be my invalidation. I have already made it a point to show you what my invalidation is. Essentially, is this horizontal line. This is going to be my invalidation. As soon as the price trades above this, going to be my invalidation. Like I said, we do need confirmation on both sides, waiting for price to take support at the FEG or form an inverse FEG to enter into the position. Simple. This is the FEG. I've marked it out, and look at how it has taken support at the FEG. Beautiful. Now, our next our next move is gonna have this. It's gonna play out in this manner where the price is now gonna have to come back into the FEG for a second time, or break through all the way above this level, this horizontal line. And then that's when we know that for a fact that the price is bullish. And we are also, there's another additional reason for the price to be bullish, because if you, as you can see this trend line right here, it is an upper trend line that we just retested, which is what I had written here. It needs to take support at the FVG or invert this FVG. Still bearish slightly. In my mind, I'm still hoping for a bearish move rather than a bullish one, because we would have a way better move because there's a lot of liquidity sitting here. Last 24 hours, we have had this move. So we do have this liquidity sitting right here. There's a lot of potential for downside momentum. That's one of the reasons why I'd prefer the market to move in a bearish direction, because there's a lot of liquidity here. So the market will have more conviction go down rather than to go up, because right here there's not much, there's only this much of liquidity sitting here. Of course, no doubt there's a lot of liquidity sitting above this as well. So the market can go to target these highs, this high, especially these highs. There's a lot of orders sitting out here, all the way up to 115, 114, maybe all the way up to 120k as well. There will be a lot of shorts that have been built up, positions from this consolidation. So the market is now targeting all of this liquidity essentially. And usually when it reaches the Fibonacci golden ratio, that's what it means. When it reaches such a point, it means that it has reached a mean of the retracement. So it's yet to be decided. And also there is some there's some fluctuations with the market and the news and a lot of volatility, right? So anything can happen. That's without that goes without saying, no doubt. So it's very simple. I've just set this up like so. As I said, we still do need to get a confirmation above this. As soon as we get a confirmation above this, essentially we do need to close a candle above this area. That's when we go long. Until we have that happen, we do not take any position. We do not open a trade. We must have the patience to wait and see what happens. All right, just gotta wait, gotta relax, wait it out, have the patience to let the price do its thing. Now trading inside this fair value FVG. Just gonna have to have the patience to let it do its thing. As I said, we do need, as soon as we take support at the FPG, I'm gonna need to see some sort of a confirmation above this zone. That's the only time when we kind of have a retracement after. That's when I will enter around this right here. This would be my entry. But we need this. We definitely need this to play out. If this doesn't play out, we don't have a trade. Because if it just if we have a massive candle to the upside, right, a huge one, then we don't have any, it doesn't make any sense to just enter into a random breakout candle. That's not how I like to trade. I like to wait for confirmation. Like to wait for the price to show me some conviction. Only then I'll enter. Right? So this still holds at the moment. So like I said, the price is now trading inside of this fair value, and lovely. We are now getting some sort of bearish rejections happening. Let's wait and see what happens. We do have another fair value here as well. I mean, I'm not a big fan of so much of support when I'm slightly bearish. There is a fair value here, so the price is going to come back in and take some support here as well. But as you can see, the price is resting quite safely within this fair value. It's it's doing its thing. There's no doubt that price is taking its own support within this fair value. Let's just wait and see. Oh, let's hold on. I'm going to be a buyer above this level, not right here. If I'm going to take a trade, it's going to be here. It's going to be below this fair value. I'm going to target a 1:5, or actually I can target this high right here. Or I don't need to be greedy. I can just do a 2 hour trade as well. Simple, right? So this is going to be my trade, if at all. But I need the price to come above here. That's the only time I take a trade, right? So this is going to be my trade, first trade opportunity. The second trade is going to be something like this, right above this, and then of course we can do the same thing and target a 2 hour. So these are my two potential trade opportunities. Let me set it up by order of price action. At the moment, we are looking slightly bullish. So this is my potential opportunity at the moment. This is my trade long bias. If we close above this level, we need to have a close above this. Then I have a bearish bias as soon as a candle closes below. So that's going to be my simple two trade thesis for today on Bitcoin scalping series. All right, let's just quickly go through all the altcoins before. Whoa, the Trump token. Trump has had a pretty massive candle move. All right, let me put up the 30-minute chart. Ondo. Yeah, Ondo is just doing its thing, trading sideways, nothing too great. Zen, same thing with Zen as well. Pengu. Pengu, like I said, look at this beautiful rolling VWAP reaction right here. Beautiful reaction at the VWAP, but a very small one though. Nonetheless, we did have a reaction, so that's still good enough. Solana. What is Solana doing? There we go. Solana is still in an uptrend. Pretty good, looking lovely. We are trading in a neutral zone. Please do note that Solana is trading in a neutral zone, which means to say that Solana is in a fair value. So please do not uh, rush ahead with trades on Solana. Let's just wait and see what the price does. Let it do its thing, and we have a Fibonacci golden pocket coming up as well. So potentially we do have a little more upside potential for 24%. Yeah, let's just wait and take it easy on Solana. Same with XRP as well. As I just recently mentioned in the beginning of the stream, I'm not going to be a buyer with XRP over here. This is going to be my zone where I'm going to place my entry on XRP. Somewhere in the near future, the price is going to have to come into this for sure, balance out certain equations within the price. Without having the price come into the zone and ripping further, it's not going to be meaningful for the overall structure of XRP. So it's going to have to come into this block over here, collect some orders, and then go back. That's my take on XRP. With Tau, it's a different matter because Tau is definitely a very good token overall. It's been trading very well, neat, clean trading opportunities on Tau. You notice we came close to our rolling VWAP, 30-day rolling VWAP, right? Came close to it, and of course, we did take support at this trend line, lower trend line that I had mapped out. As you can see, lovely trend line reaction, and then nothing too great, to be honest. And the altcoins are still kind of struggling because BTC is also doing its own thing. So we let's just wait and see how it reacts around this level, because this level is going to be it is a very strong resistance zone. As I've marked it out, supply zone, marked out a price point as well. So soon as we have some confirmation above this and a retest sort of, and then we can expect this 590 price. Right, so as we can see right here as well, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff happening overall on Tau. So that's going to be Tau and Bobcat. This is a trade that I had potentially look to take as soon as we reach these levels, and we did get a confirmation of the VWAP. So basically I am tagged into this trade. It's a very small risk trade. We're targeting this 74.91 region. So just going to wait and see what happens. Take it easy. It's a very small trade. It's a very low risk, high reward trade. So it's a 4 hour trade with a very low risk, small capital. So I'm not too worried about this trade going sideways, so it's totally fine. It's gonna let it do its thing. And of course, potentially, I had suggested an additional trade setup at this level. I wouldn't recommend that because as soon as we start coming down from here, we do have an opportunity to go long out here. So I'd rather take the trade here on Popcat and target these levels. So this would be a level to target, pretty much something like this around here. Yep. Yeah, so this would be a good trade opportunity on Bobcat. That would be at a future price. At the moment, this is a good possible trade on Bobcat. Sui. There we go. As I said, we had looked at a short position on Sui playing out. It is playing out well. We are in profit overall. We are in about 3% profit. So it's a pretty small trade, which I'm most certain gonna hit our full TP soon. Just gonna have the patience and let this trade play out. Dogecoin. All right, we can get rid of this. What's happening with Dogecoin? See, with Dogecoin, to be honest, it's quite volatile. You see these big swings in price, very volatile right now. So I wouldn't recommend trading Doge. Just wait for these price levels to be hit. As soon as we hit these price levels, then you can look to take some potential trade opportunities. What I'm going to do is I am going to shift this price here. Also shift this because it looks like we're getting a lot of support here. So I'm going to have to adapt and move my support zone slightly above. So this is going to be an important, very, very important price. 21081, and of course the 30 cent mark with the 26 marker. And yeah, unless we have some more confirmation either below this or above this, That's what we'd be looking at. But at the moment, I wouldn't recommend Doge. It's way too volatile. Pengu. Pengu is lovely. As I said, we had been locked into this trade. I did move my stop loss to below this low. So overall, we are in profit on this trade. I took this trade around 14th of May. That's about 10, 12 days ago. Lovely trade. Still overall in profit, but small profit nonetheless. We also are very clear on this price action because Pendle has been trading really well overall, and we do have this demand zone. So I wouldn't say there's much to worry here. This is a pretty decent trade opportunity. So let this trade run and see what happens. Fart coin. All right. So with fart coin, right now we started to become a bit bearish. Not too bearish, but it slightly concerning overall, but nothing majorly concerning because we do have this absolutely massive whale of an uptrend going on. Huge, what an uptrend. This is, if you just look at this, this is worth 341%, 12,300 points over a course of 1 month. Massive uptrend, massive uptrend. So, yeah, we can just trade these swings. This is more than anything, this would be considered a form, a channel sort of sort out, be something like this. Right, there we go. Yep, something like this would be the situation on pen part coin, right? Superb. And then we're back to Ethereum. Again, Ethereum is at a neutral zone. Bitcoin is not at 115K. Bitcoin is still chilling at 110K. I can see the tickers out here, man. Come on, look at this. I can see this here. Ethereum is also at a neutral zone. We have these price targets, key levels. This is the VWAP that I've been looking forward to right here. So hopefully we get a retracement into the VWAP. That's the one right here. This blue line is the VWAP, 30-day VWAP. And also we have broken down from this. Let's see. Yeah, as long as we are within this neutral zone, nothing much to do. We got to start creating some sort of momentum down, get a retest, and then we can target this to 2000 level. A lot of people are targeting this 2000 level, so we're going to get this, and we do have this massive gap as well. So there's a price action towards these levels coming very soon on Ethereum. All right, back to BTC. All right. We still haven't got a confirmation. We still haven't got a price close above the line, horizontal line. We need that. That's the only reason why I'm waiting and haven't punched into the trade as yet, is because we haven't got this confirmation. As you can see, we're constantly closing below these levels, right? Very important to note that these things are happening. We do need to see a confirmation above these levels. It's going to be very important for the price to do that. above this level right here, 115K. And 115K is really far off. It's not so close. You need to have a massive candle. That's a 4% move, 4,000 points. You think that's going to happen in one candle or a couple of candles? I don't think so, my friend. We are not in that kind of a bull run right now. We are just in a news induced bull market. You'll see the real bull run in October or November. That'll be a real proper bull run where the price will target all sorts of prices. Alternatively, it is also possible that we might see a turning point to the downside, possibly. Because if you see historically, what is this? This is here. All right, there we go. And this was just this whole price action out here felt like just a couple of months ago, man. This whole 2022, 2021 bear market, bull market, of course, COVID and everything. Felt like a couple of months ago. Whoa, look at this divergence out here, man. Damn, that's something else. Anyway, so if you notice, this is November, October, November is when we had this. And the same thing happened out here as well. The beginning of the bull run, October, November. Beginning of the bear market, October, November. September, October, November. Beginning of the main bull market. And again, beginning of another bull market, October, November. And hopefully, October, November, beginning of another bear market rather than a bull market. Because it's usually uh, an alternate situation. So we have a bull market, bear market, bull market, double bull market, and then now it's time for a bear market because we've extended two bull markets already. So historically, the price is looking forward to some sort of pullback on the daily chart. So it's going to be interesting to watch. Like I said, look at this price action on the 5 minute. We are still waiting for the price to close above this level. We need this level to be reclaimed, basically, for the price to then go up. Unless we reclaim this, we do not take a position to the upside. I'm going to be waiting and hopefully I'm going to stay neutral at these prices unless we get a confirmation either above that or below this. Either or, let's just wait and see what happens. India has surpassed Japan to become the top choice for equity investors in Asia. Thailand retains its position as Asia's least favorite market. Interesting. Hmm. Some bullish news on Dogecoin. Dogecoin volume exceeds 1.34 billion, breaking key resistance at 22 cents with strong bullish momentum. But I just went through and went over the Dogecoin chart, right? So, as I said, until and unless we have more confirmations within these price ranges. This is a massive range, right? This is a huge range to be inside this and this range. If we trade safely above this and get a confirmation above this, then we can expect a massive move. But still, regardless, we are pretty much in a discount region of the range. This is going to be the 50% of the range. So if I draw it out, set this up like this, 50% of range. There we go. Look at that. So because we are inside of 50% of the range, this would be a good place to buy, no doubt. And additionally, if I draw out another Fibonacci, there we go. We're getting rejected right here. See how clear and clean Fibonacci plays its role in the market's sequencing. Yeah, this is a good place to take along into Doge as well. I wouldn't be too keen to take along here. Maybe out here at this around this range is where a potential long opportunity is waiting right around the corner. Could be a liquidity sweep and then just one liquidity sweep and then we head all the way into the 26. Possible, possible. It is overall looking pretty bullish because it's creating these massive range highs and range lows. So that is a signal of a lot of volume. Look at this. There is absolutely a lot of volume coming into Doge. There's no doubt about that. Just take a look at this huge volume spikes on Doge with this massive range of 20%. You don't see a lot of coins having a range of 20% except for I think Fartcoin, right? Fartcoin was a coin that had a range of 53%, 35%. Of course, it is now slowly diminishing the range percentile and the volume. So do note that there is a potential for the downside momentum on Fartcoin. I do not want to miss this trade. As I said, beautiful. There we go. We are now starting to get confirmation of this playing out. Inverted fair value. Look at that. Waiting for this. Let this candle close in about 35 seconds. We will be 100%, maybe not 100, about 85% sure that it complete its course of this fair value as well. As soon as we close below both these fair values, then I'm gonna punch into this position. I was waiting for something like this to happen. As I said, this was very concerning to me. First of all, these two wicks were concerning. Then additionally, we had these two wicks as well, and of course, a bearish and engulfing on this candle. This massive move and a close below both the FVGs. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's what I call as a massive move to the downside. Look at that. We have now converted this. It's now going to be called as an IFVG, inverted fair value. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was waiting for. As I said, I had that insight, the foresight, as a matter of fact, out here to think of something like this as the fair value inverting itself and becoming bearish. Now that's what I'm talking about. I have been bearish and I've been waiting for this for some time now. It's good on my part to have the patience to wait and truly take cognizance of my patience. All right, that's what I'm talking about. That's a massive move to the downside. Ooh, huge rejection at this range high. Huge rejection. These are actually quite simple dynamics of the market. When it reaches these certain key levels, right, there is bound to be some sort of major price reaction. We swept the liquidity above and had this down. That's what I kept saying. We got to have the patience to wait for the candle to close above this key level, which was this low right here. Essentially, a breaker block. It's what people would call it nowadays. A supply zone, resistance zone. Plenty of words you can call it. Whatever works for you. I would just keep it simple and previous range low converted into a previous now into a current range high. That's it, simple as that. Range low converted to a range high right here, right here as well, and this of course. Look at that. Look at this reaction. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Very nice. That's a move. Classy move on Bitcoin. Have been so clear about this trade that to just wait until it closed perfectly below, we had this lovely conversion of this fair value into an IFBG. Beautiful. We've had a huge move without a retracement as well. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely stuff. Top class. Quite depressing to the people who it's gonna go up. I kept saying it's not gonna go up until and unless we get some sort of a confirmation. Sure, a lot of people are taking a massive loss on this trade, on this long trade that they thought is gonna go take them to $150,000. Oh man, what's up with these technical glitches? What's up with these technical glitches? Absolutely unnecessary stuff. Right? Nope, we are not receiving good signal, looks like. Damn. No, no. What is going on? I hope you viewers are able to receive a good signal, but it looks like there is an issue with the current signal. Oh man. What is this? I am slightly. Alright, okay, we have good connection. We have good signal coming through. Beautiful. Alright, so basically, I am gonna now wrap up the stream real quick. We're about to hit full TP. I had said that we're gonna have to wait for this fair value to confirm and in invert itself. That's when I take the trade. But overall, look at this. Waiting for that's why I didn't go long. Sure, a lot of people went long here and completely got wrecked. Waiting and waiting for a confirmation of close candling above here. We didn't get that. And just look at the dump that's going on. Massive dump. Have been bearish. I've been saying that, right? Because look at this kind of price action has been indicating a bearish momentum. Also, and I also cannot stress this enough that we have this range low converted into a range high now. And look at this. My goodness. Get Ethereum as well. Ethereum is just nasty. Ethereum's gonna probably target 2.4K again. Oh my goodness. Look at this. So simple, man. Lovely, lovely stuff going on. You just tap into the range height, grab the liquidity, and boom, sends it down. This happens every single day. Just at different times, that's it. But pretty much repeats itself almost always. Ah, I don't know what's going on with my internet. There's some sort of difficulty. All right, I think we have good signal again. Sounds good. Look at this. My goodness. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. But also a bit funny. Sad that a lot of people got trapped on this move. Also funny because quite clear that we had this, right? We had so much of resistance sitting here. I don't know why would people be bullish out here. It's better to be bullish at much lower levels. Like this would be a good place to be bullish. Absolutely. No doubt that this is a good place to be bullish and see the move that happened. No point in being bullish at all sorts of consolidations that are price discovery traditionally. Usually when it prices at these kind of price discovery zones, it does its own things because it's forming new liquidity zones and plenty of reasons for the price to keep bouncing between certain regions that nobody has any idea because these are all new buyers and new sellers entering the market. So it's best to just wait and let the market form a structure just like how it did right here. This is a structure. This is a simple structure formation. We broke structure here, and then we created this new structure right here by rejecting off of this. Exactly what's going on. We rejected once, then we went, took the liquidity above, and boom. Simple dynamics textbook plays going on in the Bitcoin crypto market. All right, so that's it for today's live stream, and not sure if I'm gonna be back tomorrow. Let's see. I initially thought I'm gonna be doing live streams every day, but turns out that I'm getting caught up with a bunch of other things. So let's see if I have the time. I'll absolutely come through the live streams, and I'll keep going through my list of altcoins and updating the live stream with all the potential opportunities available. Also, as you can see, these are some levels that I had marked out on my other Bitcoin chart, getting rejected at the similar level. This is from a previous support and resistance key level, right? I think we're going to target this demand zone again. Let me, beautiful. Also potentially gonna look to target this 30-day VWAP, which is sitting at 100K, right? So just before I wind up the stream, hopefully we don't get all these prices because if we get these, gonna be quite a big move down. Gonna be a move about 8% from where we are at right now. It's gonna be quite nasty, no doubt. So hopefully we don't get this price anytime soon. I hope we get the cascading manner and a clean price manner rather than a massive dump to this. Then it'd be a little difficult for the participants of the market to navigate and trade accordingly. So anyway, I've marked these out on the chart. So people who are interested in uh, trading based on certain levels, you can look at this 30-day VWAP, rolling VWAP, which absolutely, if the price comes to the zone right here, it is without a doubt going to take support over here. All right, hold up. Let me just see what's going on. There's something going on with my connection. Oh man, this is so annoying. There's something constantly going on with my internet connection. Damn. Just give me a moment. I'm just gonna. All right, I think we're back online. Having some fluctuations. All right, before we have another fluctuation with the connection, I'm just gonna wrap it up. And cool. These are the key levels for BTC. and I think already hit. We're very close to hitting our full TP. Took a similar trade on Friday, and hope to provide another trade on the next stream. Not sure. Have a good rest of your evening or morning or afternoon, whichever part of the world you all are from. And I will see you all on the next one.